Have you ever looked at your investment account after months of consistently putting money away and thought, is this really it? You made the sacrifices. You skipped unnecessary purchases. You invested every month like everyone told you to. Yet when you finally checked your portfolio, the numbers barely seemed to move. It almost felt as though all your effort had achieved nothing. If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. In fact, almost every successful investor has experienced that exact moment. The difference is that they didn't mistake slow progress for failure. They understood something that most people don't. Investing feels painfully slow, until one day, it doesn't. We live in a society that has trained us to expect instant results. We can order dinner with a tap on our phone, stream a film in seconds and have almost anything delivered to our doorstep within a day. Everything around us tells us that faster is better. Without even realizing it, we begin expecting our money to grow at the same speed. So when months go by and our investments haven't doubled or transformed our lives, frustration starts creeping in. We begin questioning ourselves. Maybe we chose the wrong investments. Maybe we started too late. Maybe investing only works if you're already wealthy. The reality is very different. Investing isn't designed to impress you in the beginning. The early years are often the quietest part of the journey. You keep contributing month after month, but the changes are so small that they're easy to overlook. That's exactly why so many people stop. They assume that because they can't see dramatic results, nothing meaningful is happening. But beneath the surface, something much more important is taking place. When people think about investing, they usually focus on growing their money. But during the early years, you're actually growing something far more valuable, your behavior. Every time you invest instead of spending, you're strengthening your discipline. Every time you ignore the panic of a falling market, you're building emotional resilience. Every time you stick to your plan despite slow progress, you're becoming the type of person who thinks long-term instead of living only for today. Those habits are quietly changing your future long before your portfolio reflects it. Think about learning to play the piano. During the first few weeks, every note feels awkward. Your fingers don't move naturally, you make constant mistakes and it sounds nothing like the songs you hope to play. If you judged your progress after only a month, you'd probably believe you weren't talented enough. But musicians know something beginners don't. Mastery doesn't arrive all at once. It appears so gradually that you often don't notice yourself improving until one day you sit down and realize you can play songs that once seemed impossible. Investing follows that same pattern. Progress is happening even when it doesn't feel obvious. Eventually, something begins to change. Your portfolio reaches a point where investment returns become more noticeable. Instead of relying entirely on the money you're adding each month, your existing investments begin contributing meaningful growth of their own. The returns generate more returns, and over time those gains become larger simply because they're working from a bigger base. This isn't because the market suddenly decided to reward you. It's because you've finally given time enough opportunity to do what it has always done. This is the moment many experienced investors describe as the turning point. Looking back, it almost seems as though their wealth started growing on its own. But that's an illusion. The growth didn't suddenly appear. It was being built every month through the decisions that felt ordinary, repetitive and sometimes even pointless. Those quiet years weren't empty years. They were the years that made everything else possible. One of the biggest mistakes people make is comparing their beginning to someone else's middle. They see investors who have been building wealth for 20 or 30 years and assume those results happen quickly. What they don't see are the countless paydays when those investors chose to stay consistent instead of chasing the next big opportunity. They don't see the years when their portfolios barely moved or the moments when they questioned whether it was worth continuing. Every successful investor has a chapter that looks remarkably ordinary. If your investments feel slow today, don't let that convince you you're on the wrong path. The slow phase isn't a sign that investing is broken. It's part of the process. Every contribution you make is another step towards a future where your money can begin carrying more of the workload. Every month you remain invested is another month that time is working quietly on your behalf. One day, you'll open your investment account and realize something extraordinary. The growth you were waiting for didn't arrive because you discovered a secret strategy or found the perfect investment. It arrived because you stayed patient when patience felt hardest. You trusted the process when there was very little evidence to keep going. And that's what separates people who simply talk about building wealth from those who actually achieve it. Before you go, ask yourself, will your future self thank you for giving up because progress felt slow, or for staying invested long enough to see what patience can really do? If this video inspired you, like and subscribe to Empowerment. Every click helps us spread the mindset that changes lives. Empowerment. Build yourself, build wealth.